No, I ain't in progress.
All right, it started.
Okay. Welcome, everybody. Tonight we're in chapter 31, the simplicity of salvation, and we're going to read part 8, which is choose once again, and that's paragraphs 83 through 97. Not too bad, 13, 14 paragraphs. So I will look for a volunteer for to go first. Anybody? Shall we give the honor to Rich? Or
I volunteer, Tony.
you volunteer, Tony?
Okay,
Jeez, Tony.
the little paragraph, I can do it.
All right.
All right.
Rich, do you want to read tonight or you want to just watch? Do you want to follow along?
I can read however you want to do it. It's fine
All
with
right.
me.
I'm going to put you up second.
All right.
Karen, because you're so wise and volunteering, you're going to be third. Dennis. Joy. And I will do the last batter up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. All right. Rich, just a little bit on the format. Like I said, we don't tile. We just read. Each person reads one paragraph, and I will let you know when you're up and what paragraph you have to read. And then before we get started, Joy puts us in a 2-minute guided meditation. References the lesson for today or anything else that you might want to put in your mantra. And then, like I said, we'll do the text reading. Everybody listens to the paragraph that's being read, and if anything comes up for them in that paragraph, or if they see something that reminds them of something or anything like that, then you can feel free to come off a mute and ask a question or make a statement or something like that. So it's kind of free format. We don't hold anybody to any really rules or anything like that, except everybody agrees I can't tell dumb jokes anymore.
Who said that?
I'm so persecuted.
No, we didn't say that, did we?
No.
Okay,
Okay,
I knew Tony would say yes, I did.
Okay, Joy's up. She's gonna let us we can close our eyes and try to get into a little state of meditation so that we can read the chapters. All right, Joy, you're up.
Okay. All right. So we just always start with a centering. And this allows us to just relax. We relax the body and the breath and the mind. So we close our eyes, let go of all that outside focus. And as soon as we close our eyes, we know that the brain waves change because the body is being told that we don't need that outside focus. In fact, it thinks perhaps we're going to go to sleep. But it does change. The brain changes and we begin to quiet down. Just relax the body. Let it go. We don't need to do anything right now. Nowhere to go. Nothing to do. And we might feel the tension being released. As we relax, we notice that the breath relaxes as well. It follows the body. Relax the body, your breath relaxes. Relax the breath and the body relaxes. And what also follows is the mind, our surface thoughts. Those thoughts that we think over and over and over again with our limited mind. Thoughts that tell us that we were born and we're going to die, that we're separate, we're guilty, we're alone. We let all those surface thoughts go because we are reaching now to the loving thoughts of God. And so to help us to do that, we focus on the lesson. Any lesson we focus on is perfect. Today's lesson is lesson 336. Forgiveness lets me know that minds are joined. Forgiveness is the means appointed for perception's ending. Knowledge is restored after perception first is changed, and then gives way entirely to what remains forever past its highest reach. For sights and sounds at best can serve but to recall the memory that lies beyond them all. Forgiveness sweeps away distortions and opens the hidden altar to the truth. Its lilies shine into the mind and call it to return and look within to find what it has vainly sought without. For here and only here is peace of mind restored. For this, the dwelling place of God himself. And our prayer, Father, Mother God, in quiet, may forgiveness wipe away my dreams of separation and of sin. Then let me, Father, look within and find your promise of my sinlessness is kept. Your word remains unchanged within my mind. Your love is still abiding in my heart. And we take 2 minutes. We open to whatever we want to focus on in this time of silence, and I'll bring us out. The lesson, forgiveness, lets me know that minds are joined. Now, when we're ready, we'll open our eyes. Ready?
Okay, all right. We are in chapter 31, the simplicity of salvation. We're going to read the last chapter. This is the last of the text. Congratulations, everybody. I know that we started this in January, and here it is December, and we've made it all the way through the text. Obviously, just one assignment a week, but still we made it all the way through, and you're to be congratulated. Anyway, thank you all for coming. We're going to be in chapter 8, choose once again. And Tony, could you read paragraph 83 for me?
I'll try.
Okay.
I can't hear Tony. Wait a minute. Let me try to turn my R sound up, but yeah.
I heard him. Okay.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I have trouble hearing. I must be, I'm going deaf anyway.
What?
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 Okay.
Temptation has one lesson it would teach in all its forms whenever it occurs. It would persuade the Holy Son of God he is a body, born in what must die, unable to escape its frailty and bound by what it orders him to feel. It sets the limits on what he can do. Its power is only the strength he has. His grasp cannot exceed its tiny reach. Would you be this if the Christ appeared to you in all his glory, asking you but this? Choose once again if you would take your place among the saviors of the world, or would remain in hell and hold your brothers there.
You should probably do the next one too. Oh, well.
Mm-mm.
Hmm.
So this chapter doesn't mess around. It comes right out within the first paragraph and a half to say, okay, this is what you should be doing. You should choose once again. You know, don't go down that branch in the road, or that rabbit hole, or whatever else you want to call it, that drags you further and further into ego, or causes you to hate or mistrust or be unloving. Just choose again. Start over. I don't think Jesus or God or anybody, whenever we are to be there, when whatever it is we're going to be there, he's not going to keep track of how long we've done it right or how long we've done it wrong. He doesn't really care. He's just glad we're back. He's glad we're home. He loves us all unconditionally. So I really don't think there's anything we can do down here that would really make him upset. And there I go, using the him gender or the he gender. I guess I never really, when I think of God, I never really give him a gender. I just try to give him a entity status. There you go. So.
The Holy Spirit has to, he has to use our symbols. That's all he has to work with. And so we made symbols of gender. And so I'm sure he has a good explanation for why he did what he did.
Mhm.
I think it's just because we probably, as a human being with a finite brain, I think we would, if we were to try and understand what he is for real, our head would probably explode, wouldn't it? I mean, wouldn't we would just be totally overwhelmed. It would be like as if an alien landed and walked out of their saucer. You'd have a total, nothing that you had in your perception table or your knowledge table or common sense or anything. None of that you would throw it all out the window because everything would be new from that point on. So I think I know that Joy studies a lot of near-death experiences, a lot of NDEs, and people get a chance. If a person has an NDE, they get a chance. They get a glimpse. They don't get,
And they can't explain it.
and they come back and they just say,
There's no words.
"There's no words." Yeah,
There are no words.
and like you said, Rich, this book is full of little words in it, and yes, that's true. The only thing the Holy Spirit has is these words. And it is kind of interesting that it was channeled in English, so we don't lose translation. That's nice. However, there's also people that have come up to us in conferences and said, well, Jesus could not have channeled this because he didn't know English.
Right.
Going, well, don't you think he kind of know English? Besides, he wasn't saying the words. He was just putting it in
Helen's
Thought pictures to her.
Helen's thought pictures.
There you go. Yeah, thought pictures. He said that he did it somewhere in the course. He said, this course is brought to you in a language that you love and understand. That was cool.
So what do? We translate it into German, Spanish,
Well, yeah.
Japanese.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look for that quote, Joy.
Rich, somebody in South America, somebody spent almost 14 years translating it to Spanish, and we finally got it published. And is the Spanish world just thrilled that we did it? No, they argue about the title. Well, there you go. Okay.
I think if you
Go ahead.
the resolution to the father idea as a gender term has to do with cause and effect. And if you fully understand cause and effect and creation, and then try to look at what we have made with procreation, then you kind of get the idea of why the Father is the Father. I guess I could leave it at that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well,
You
there
know,
was,
in our symbology, males are the,
right.
you know, the quote, males are the aggressor or the starter.
Well, yeah. The fairy
I don't want to
tale
get
of
too, I don't
Adam-
want to get too far into the
Right.
sexuality, but you know,
Right.
one thing's chasing the other, not the other way around. So it really has to do with cause and effect, I guess. But
Well, the Jewish fairy tale of Adam and Eve. Adam was made first, and then God took a rib out of us and made Eve. And then a good friend of ours, Frank Frost, would say that God made Adam go to sleep and made Eve, and Adam never woke up.
right. Well, the King James version actually says he called their name Adam.
Oh, how about that?
Plural.
Nice.
Hmm.
Right.
Hmm.
That's obviously before the quote supposed separation. But
Yeah.
Huh.
Okay, Rich, can you read 85 for us then?
And
85.
And 86. I'm sorry, 85 and 86.
Okay. Trying to see where 86. Oh, there it is. 85 is just one sentence. Okay. For he has come, and he is asking this. How do you make the choice? How easily is this explained? You always choose between your weakness and the strength of Christ in you, and what you choose is what you think is real. Simply by never using weakness to direct your actions, you have given it no power, and the light of Christ in you is given charge of everything you do. For you have brought your weakness unto him, and he has given you his strength instead.
Say thank you for that.
Well, is all of this talking about choosing against the ego? I just need a little clarification, here, Tony.
In my world.
But you're choosing for something too.
Correct.
Right.
And I think that's the important part, because what you could choose against doesn't really exist. So you don't really need to worry about it.
Right. If you're in duality, then you think you have choice. And like Dennis said, in order to choose one thing, because we have its opposite that we made, you have to deny the other or exclude the other. But that process of forgiveness, of constantly choosing forgiveness, brings you to a place where you recognize there is no choice. There's never has been a choice, which is what Dennis was intimating. You get beyond choice.
And focusing your attention on something that you want to get rid of never works,
Right.
Correct.
because you have to think about it to try to get rid of it.
Right. What you think about, you bring about. Right.
Yeah.
What he says too is that, again, everything we made can be used as a quote weapon against itself. That's why the atonement is not a double-edged sword, because it can't be used against itself. But what he says I want to use your ability to deny the denial. You end up denying the idea of denial, which is a very powerful thing. So obviously there's nothing sinful, but there's nothing that the Holy Spirit can't use of all of these mental tricks that we've made up.
when I read 86, I think of a practical application, where it says simply by never using your weakness to direct your actions, you have given it no power. So when I do use my weakness to direct my actions, I have given it power. And the light of Christ in you is given charge of everything you do. If I choose that, the light of Christ, then, but you have brought for you have brought your weakness unto him, and he has given you his strength instead. Now that's the shift for me. When I notice, I don't feel good. My gut doesn't feel good. So I have chosen wrongly. How he said, I must have chosen wrongly. And it's like, I was using my weakness to direct my actions. And what somebody had asked for permission to use they wanted to reprint our book actually. And it's, our book's copyrighted, and Amazon told them they had to get permission from the copyright owner. And the thing is that in this interaction with this person, I kept washing over my feelings. Something just didn't feel right, and I think, I don't know, I think I was not giving it over to the light of Christ. I think I was a little bit hooked into this world and, form and regulations, and money and things like that. But then, but I worked on it a long time, and a real long email, and he got back to me with one sentence, and he said, "Are you willing to understand the power of what learning and teaching by demonstration?" Learning and teaching by demonstration. Teach what you want to learn.
Like the manual for teaching.
So
Yep.
that was amazing. And so we moved into an area of I would say of the course, not just the world, the world in copyright, the world in, permissions and things like that. And I saw all of a sudden, I really, because I didn't feel good about my email, and lo and behold, his answer was like, sort of showed me that I don't know, something was off. Right.
That is what he asked for, though. I mean, it wasn't like you went off on a tangent or anything.
Yeah. Yeah. But I want to share with you something. Because I said, when he got back to me with that, hold on. This is what I wrote to him. He said, hold on, I had it. I hope you understand this, what he said, the ability to teach and learn by demonstration. And that's all he said. And I said, how amazing to look upon my brother and not see the beauty and the holiness and the love that is there. And yet my right mind sees only perfection, nothing to add or take away. All I can do is forgive my misperceptions and extend the love that I am. And in that instant, I and my brother are renewed. So I was basically, I thought I wanted to tell him that I let something get in between seeing his perfection and my perfection. And I wasn't looking definitely with my right mind. And he sent me a lily of forgiveness, and we're going to be in a conversation, I'm sure, a future conversation. But when I read this paragraph, I realized that you always choose between your weakness and the strength of Christ in you, and what you choose is what you think is real. And the light of Christ is in you, is given charge of everything you do. And it works when no matter what you're doing, it's like, it's not your life is over here and the course is over here. it's like whatever you're doing, whoever's in your, right, in your life. I mean, the person who delivers food, I mean, everything
Everything.
talks. Huh?
All things are lessons.
Everything, absolutely everything. Yeah. So this is a blessing, because there is this mindset that it should be open source and free and just not copyrighted, and that everyone should be able to change it, and and that kind of thing. So it's just I don't know.
Render unto Caesar that which is Caesar's.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, the Pharisees were always trying to trip Jesus up. So
Right.
stuff like, there was little pieces like that in the Bible where they would try and catch him, and they could never get him. So, okay. Karen, can you read 87?
All right. Trials are but lessons which you failed to learn, presented once again. So where you made a faulty choice before, you now can make a better one, and thus escape all pain which what you chose before has brought to you. In every difficulty, all distress, and each perplexity, Christ calls to you and gently says, "My brother, choose again." He would not leave one source of pain unhealed, nor any image left to veil the truth. He would remove all misery from you, whom God created altars unto joy. He would not leave you comfortless, alone in dreams of hell, but would release your minds from everything that hides his face from you. His holiness is yours because he is the only power that is real in you. His strength is yours because he is the self that God created as his only son. It starts out beautiful. I love trials are but lessons which you failed to learn, presented once again. One of my favorites. I see Kobe has joined in the fun.
Yep. The true man of the house.
Oh, Kobe. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You know it's true, Chris.
God, you know what? I'm just here to cook and clean, and I don't know.
Give him treats.
Giving treats, yeah. Okay, well, we're having cell phone karma here. We got the Sims hotline just went off, so Joy's in the kitchen doing that. And I had a whole string of people going ape shit on this one that I thought we had turned off. All right, so let's move on to 88. We're doing okay on time. We're running just a little bit late. We got a lot of readings, but that's okay. It's always perfect, no matter what. We always end with perfection. I like that. Dennis, paragraph 88.
The images you make cannot prevail against what God himself would have you be. And that's good news.
Yeah.
I like it.
Be never fearful of temptation, but see it as it is. Another chance to choose again and let Christ's strength prevail in every circumstance and every place you raised an image of yourself before. For what appears to hide the face of Christ is powerless before his majesty and disappears before his holy sight. The saviors of the world who see like him are merely those who choose his strength instead of their own weakness, seen apart from him. They will redeem the world, and they are joined in all the power of the will of God, and what they will is only what he wills. So we can keep the images going as long as we want to. And every situation is as an opportunity to choose for what I really am and where I really belong. No exceptions. And that's what's going on here. That's what's going on here. I'm all tangled up in my own images, my own BS, and I choose again by asking for help and by asking for reality and being willing to give up. I don't know, I can't speak for anybody else, but in my case, I just need to give up everything. I just need to give up every idea about myself, every idea about the world is. And if I do that, the right ideas will be there. I cannot give up too much. I cannot let go of too much. Because what I am is unchangeable, perfect, holy.
Yep.
Not what I'm going to become, but what I already am. The idea that I'm something else is an old idea that's been hanging around for a long time. And all I got to do is quit hanging on to it.
And all that stuff that you have to let go has to do with the body. It doesn't have to do with your spirit. Your spirit's
I think
fine.
it has to do with more than the body. Actually, I think it has to do with, all that other stuff they talk about, like the astral body and the causal body and all that stuff, that some of us have been reading about for years. And I don't need to separate it out. Illusion is illusion.
Yep.
I am already where I'm supposed to be. I am in heaven. But I have a terribly misconstrued, I think would be the right word, idea of who I am. I have this idea that I'm a body. I have this idea that I'm subject to the laws of the world and things like that. And this is a very strong belief that I've been maintaining for quite a while. And I'm afraid to let go of it. Plus, there are certain things here that I like.
All you have here is preferences. As long as you prefer one thing over another, you're not in the all.
Yep.
I tripped over a verse that I hadn't seen before, or certainly didn't register, and it's in the manual, section 5 or question 5, whatever it is. I think it is. And it says something like the teacher of God overlooks mind and body. In other words, goes right to spirit. And I had to really think about, okay, I understand overlooking the body. I've been teaching that. But when did I ever teach overlooking the mind? Because mind is but an activating agent. It's just activating your desire. That's all it is. So if we don't overlook your mind, for instance, if I look at Dennis and I say, well, Dennis has, he's dealing with this and that, and he's wanting to deny this and that. Okay, I'm fooling around in his mind, which obviously is wavering between his right mind and his wrong mind, as all of us. Well, forgiveness looks beyond that. Well, charity, as opposed to love, charity gives a greater place to where even in perception that we're all at a better place than we are. We're further along in this so-called journey than we are. But we need to release the whole thing, body and mind.
Yeah, I say you can't release too much, because that which is supposed to stay will stay. I don't need to sort out what I need to let go of. Just let go of everything. And I only need to do it for an instant.
Lifetime.
Well said, Dennis. Okay, it looks like I get the trifecta. I'm going to read 89, 90, and 91. Learn that the happy habit of response to all temptation is to preserve yourself as weak and miserable with these words: I am as God created me. His son can suffer nothing, and I am his son. Thus is Christ's strength invited to prevail, replacing all your weakness with the strength that comes from God and that can never fail. And thus are miracles as natural as fear and agony appeared to be before the choice for holiness was made. For in that choice are false distinctions gone, illusionary alternatives laid by, and nothing left to interfere with, Dennis. Oh, I mean, The truth, the truth. All right, the truth is Dennis. Dennis is the truth. If A is equal to B and B is equal to C, then A equals C. So Dennis equals C and C is the truth. There, I did it. I converted the Course of Miracles to math. Algebra, well, whatever.
One plus one equals one.
Unless you're an accountant, and 1 + 1 will be what they want you to make it.
All right. I've used that joke before.
Yeah, well, I actually did it once. We converted a bank onto our software and we couldn't get it to reconcile to the amounts that he said were at the bank. And it wasn't $1 or 10 cents or whatever. I remember it being in the thousands. And it was like midnight. We were still trying to get it to work. And the guy that I was there with, the guy that was in charge of the conversion, he says, take the COBOL passer. And when you get to the end, when you display the totals, don't display what you accumulated. Type in the actual value of what it is that he says it should be. And I went, what? He goes, yeah, just if he says there's $93,462.72 in CDs, then put that on your report that that's what you are. He says, yeah, but the next day or the day after, he's going to know that that's not right. He says, well, we'll be back in Omaha by that time. So it's like, wow, it's just strange. That was like in the 80s, 70s, 1970, 80, 81, somewhere around in there. Yeah, 1980, I think it was. I was at a bank in Oregon. Holy smokes.
I think Jesus is basically doing the same thing. He's saying, according to your math, you're limited and you're sinful and you make mistakes. But let me show you what my conclusion is. My conclusion is perfection. So just go with the perfection and worry about all this other stuff some other time.
Yep.
Outside the holy instant.
Very nice.
Yep. He's quite the guy. I mean, this book has moved me closer to an understanding of who Jesus was. And obviously, I think I've always understood who God was, but this has kind of moved me a little closer. And I've always visualized that I might have been there at the time. So I sometimes I think about that, think about how he spent that time and where was he from the age 12 to the age 30. There's always that little thing to wonder about. But let's get back up to the top of the reading order. I think Tony, 92, you're up.
Okay. You are as God created you, and so is every living thing you look upon, regardless of the images you see. What you behold as sickness or as pain, as weakness and as suffering and loss, temptation to perceive yourself defenseless and in hell. Yield not to this, and you'll see all pain in every form wherever it occurs, but disappear as mist before the sun. A miracle has come to heal God's Son and close the door upon his dreams of weakness, opening the way to his salvation and release. Choose once again what you would have him be, remembering that every choice you make establishes your own identity as you will see it and believe it is. That's a mouthful.
Establishes your own identity as you will see it. First, I just read you. It establishes your own identity. And again, what? Your identity doesn't need to be established. But it's your identity as you will see it. Because there's who I really am, and then there's who I believe that I am. And only the latter needs to be tweaked or have anything done with it.
Yeah. Or as Popeye would have said, I am what I am, and that's all that I am. What? Popeye, I thought was a Buddhist. I thought, I mean, he would say things like that in the cartoons, and we didn't obviously get it at the time, but I get it now. He had no problems with his identity. He said, I am what I am, and that's all that I am. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. Yeah,
We could learn a lot from that.
I think so. I mean,
We're a child of God, and that's all we are. Nothing.
I
more.
know. I think sometimes we like to make it hard and complex so that we don't have to so we don't have to go down that branch of the road. Love that damn branch of the road. Okay, Rich, you want to read 93?
93. Deny me not the little gift I ask, when in exchange I lay before your feet the peace of God and power to bring this peace to everyone who wanders in the world uncertain, lonely, and in constant fear. For it is given you to join with him, and through the Christ in you, unveil his eyes, and let him look upon the Christ in him. My brothers in salvation, do not fail to hear my voice and listen to my words. I ask for nothing but your own release. There's no place for hell within a world whose loveliness can yet be so intense and so inclusive. It is but a step from there to heaven. To your tired eyes, I bring a vision of a different world, so new and clean and fresh. You will forget the pain and sorrow that you saw before. Yet this a vision is, which you must share with everyone you see, for otherwise you will behold it not. To give this gift is how to make it yours, and God ordained in loving kindness that it be for you.
Very nice, Rich. Thank you.
Well, that one sentence doesn't make sense. Yet this a vision is which you must share with everyone you see. This a vision. It's a new kind of English.
They, I think if you say this is a vision, then
Yeah.
it's
There's a word missing.
Right.
or something.
the way we talk.
Well, I think if you look at it, it looks like vision and is are transposed. There's an is after vision. So if you move that in front of vision, then it would be this is a vision which you must share with everyone you see. So I think
Oh.
vision and I think is needs to go.
Tomorrow, have Joy look into that.
Yeah, I think the is needs to be between this and a and the letter A, whatever. So, and we've done, I mean, Karen knows we've updated this or we've fixed things like this. We've got the shorthand on disk, so we always have that to refer to. So,
But I think it's, it's poetic too. I think this is iambic pentameter.
Yes.
Yet this, the vision is in which you must share with everyone you see. I think there's a rhythm that,
I think it's.
I don't know if
That's
that came
what I
from
was gonna
Tony
bring
or
up.
if-
Yep.
Yeah.
I think Dennis, I agree. It's written the way it should be.
okay.
But I did-
Karen, what's that? I'm sorry.
I did have to read it twice to get, and I stumbled like Karen did at first.
Well, I wanted to know where B vision was when I read that.
Yeah.
A vision, where's B vision? I was confused. Okay, moving on to 94. Let us be glad that we can walk the world and find so many chances to perceive another situation where God's gift can once again be recognized as ours! Exclamation point. And thus will all the vestiges of hell, the secret sins and hidden hates be gone, and all the loveliness which they concealed appear like lawns of heaven to our sight, to lift us high above the thorny roads we traveled on before the Christ appeared. Hear me, my brothers, hear and join with me. God has ordained I cannot call in vain, and in his certainty I rest content. For you will hear and you will choose again, and in this choice is everyone made free. Boy, there's a lot of sentences beginning with and there. And in this choice is everyone made free.
Yeah, but we haven't had a but B yet. Or a B but. Rich, that puts me up on my soapbox because I contend that this had to be channeled by Jesus because nobody in their right mind would say be but or but be and start so many sentences with and.
There's a lot more in the a lot more sentences in the text that start with and that were changed to,
Yep.
to this edition. So
Yep.
you did a lot more than you see here.
And.
And. It's almost like, dude, where's my car? And then. Okay. All right. Well, this is being recorded, so I should,
All right, delete that part.
I should, yeah, I'm sure Joy will. Okay, let's see. Dennis, you want to read the italics, paragraph 95?
Sure, but, oh, yours is italicized, okay. I have this edition right
Oh,
here.
that's an oldie. That's a
Yes.
really old one.
Yeah, and
That's printed on parchment. That's that old.
missing a few things. I'd like my money back, please.
My first one was duct taped together.
Okay,
Dennis,
Okay.
Dennis, you want a brand new copy of the large print for Christmas? I'll send it to you. Oh, seriously?
That's a doozy, that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
what the heck? That's
Okay.
what, I mean, that's what I've got is
If you're ever gluing anything,
I have the
put
new
that on top of it.
large
It'll-
print, yeah.
Moving right along.
Moving right along.
thank you, Father, for the holy ones who are your brothers, as they are your sons. My faith in them is yours. I am as sure that they will come to me as you are sure of what they are and will forever be. They will accept the gift I offer them because you gave it me on their behalf. And as I would but do your holy will, so will they choose. And I give thanks for them. Salvation's song will echo through the world with every choice they make. For we are one in purpose, and the end of hell is near.
Well, I'm gonna highlight that. The end
Yeah.
of hell is near. Can't believe
Yeah.
I never highlighted that.
What the hell are they talking about?
Well, now we got a but do to add to your list.
No, don't let that. I saw that and I just got like, no, not another one. I'm just going to stick with be but and but be. I mean,
Okay, yeah.
even Shakespeare didn't write that.
The miracle is not complete unless you've given it and you've received it back from that idea, that thought that you thought was this person or whatever situation, and it's returned with increase in gratitude. And I think what he's saying here when he says on their behalf, God gave it to you on their behalf, is because the miracle allows that mind, even though it's not aware that you're giving that miracle to, that it is responding, because miracles are natural, and your giving allows them to give back to you. And that mechanics, so to say, of the miracle process is given. They've thus given. You're allowing them to give without them being even aware, and that's how your awareness or your understanding of a miracle mindedness is shared and expanded.
Okay. Yeah, where I'm working right now, I've been there 5 years in August. And when I first got there, it was interesting how I would feel like I was in conflict with some people, and yet with other people, it was like I'd known them all my life. And then some of those people would say like, well, what is it you don't like about this person? Because I personally think that person is fine. And I realized that what I was using was my perception filter. And I thought, well, okay, I need to stop that because there's no reason for me to not be across the board with everybody. And I just said, okay, I'm changing my perception of these people. And the fact that I did that, they did the same towards me. And I would have to say that, I feel very, very comfortable with all the people I work with after being there 5 years. And just to let you know, it isn't going to last much longer. Human Resources has let me work from home because of my health conditions. And that's up at the end of December. And I guess if that can't continue into 2022, then I probably going to be retired starting January. They did hire a replacement. He's I haven't told my boss yet. He's overqualified. Now that's the good news and bad news. The good news is if he's overqualified, he should be able to pick up what I do with 4 to 6 months of tutoring. The bad news is he's overqualified. So if something comes up, possibly in Omaha because he relocated from Florida, but if something comes up for a systems programmer somewhere else for 30 or 40 or 50K more, he's going to be gone. So they're going to put all their time in bringing this guy up to speed, and he could easily just walk right out the door. So, but you know what? That's a perception, and I'm going to get rid of that perception right now. And I'm going to tell Joy to read 96. And Joy, are you here? No, Joy is not here. So I will read 96. And then I think, Tony, you can finish with 97.
Okay.
All right, 96. In joyous welcome is my hand outstretched to every brother who would join with me in reaching past temptation and who looks with fixed determination toward the light that shines beyond in perfect constancy. You don't say that often very well. Give me my own, for they belong to you. And can you fail in what it is but your will? I give you thanks for what my brothers are. And as each one elects to join with me, the song of thanks from earth to heaven grows from tiny scattered threads of melody to one inclusive chorus from a world redeemed from hell and giving thanks to you.
Boy, that was a lot in that sentence.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing. A lot of run-on sentences in this book. Maybe Jesus didn't have a lot of periods when he was growing up or something, so he didn't know how to put them in there.
He knew.
Of course he did. He knew everything. He was the best.
We
I'll
think
take it.
more is better.
Yeah.
So we think complexity is great.
I said that earlier. Sometimes we want to make this harder and harder and harder so that, well, actually, I think not we do. I think our ego would prefer
Right.
that we make this hard, so I guess when we finally come to the title of this chapter, simplicity is the simplicity of salvation. When we finally come to that awareness, we will be just absolutely perfect, and there won't be anything. We won't have anything. We won't need anything. We won't want anything. We will just bask in the perfect unconditional love of God, and that would be it.
We will be home.
We will be home. We'll all go home. Everybody's home is the same home. Okay. All right. Well, I reassigned you.
Oh,
So I read yours, and I think we're going to have Tony finish.
that's fine.
97. Okay. So Tony, 97.
Did I read it all? No. Did I read anything at all?
Look at the picture.
Oh, I did in the beginning.
Yeah,
I
you
think I
read 89.
Okay.
You read
that's fine,
89.
that's fine.
Okay, go ahead, Tony.
And now we say amen. For Christ has come to dwell in the abode you set for him before time was, in calm eternity. The journey closes, ending at the place where it began. No trace of it remains. Not one illusion is accorded faith, and not one spot of darkness still remains to hide the face of Christ from anyone. Thy will is done, complete and perfectly, and all creation recognize you and knows you as the only source it has. Clear in your likeness does the light shine forth from everything that lives and moves in you. For we have reached where all of us are, one, and we are at home, where you would have us be. We have reached where we all are one.
Yep.
You're at home where you would have us be.
Yeah.
Joy, can you tell us the story of the Amen?
Oh, well, no, I think we all, you remember
Well, I
when
want you
Hel-
to tell the story.
Well, yeah, I'm saying,
okay.
no, it's not a big story, but Helen didn't remember when she was scribing. She said, how am I going to know when it's done? And he said, when you hear me say amen. So
Pretty cool. So we just read the Amen from Jesus. Now this is the end of the text. I don't know when the manual came out, but this is the 31
I think
chapters
what's
of text.
funny is about 9 months later, as if she was going to give birth to something else. She goes, I just have a feeling that it's like this, practical thing. I think it was the lessons, I guess. And she goes, she just 9 months later, she just
The
had
text came through first.
She just knew.
The text came through first. Okay.
Mhm,
All right.
mhm.
Yeah, because that's where the forward is. That's what we just did. So
Or maybe it was 9 months after the manual for teachers. After she
That's manual came first.
Yeah.
okay.
Because of the question, people were asking a lot of questions once they got a hold of those different colored books that they send all over.
Okay. Or the one with the 53 principles, or
No, that's the text.
oh, that's
It was-
in the
It
text.
was a text, but I think they were like, they did three runs and they put a different color cover on each one or something. Yellow, blue, and pink or something.
Whoa.
But when she
I
was
don't remember which one.
scribing, when she got finished scribing the text, I think then she, a little space of time, and then she felt, and she started scribing the lessons. And then I think it was after she finished the lessons, I think that's when 9 months later, she thought, we're not done yet, Bill. I'm pregnant again. I'm gonna
have a book.
I'm
gonna give birth to a book.
I think it's a manual for teachers.
Well, God bless them all for doing their job or doing the hard work and bringing this through. So I am eternally grateful.
Karen and Tony, do you remember Ed Kramer that came to our group in Omaha? Ed Kramer, and you remember Ed?
Kind of short guy, did
He
roofs whenever the hailstorms were. He'd come into town.
Somewhere in like Dolores Canyon.
I think he bring an RV in and lived in an RV while he was here.
That was his wife, his ex-wife that just called me. But
Oh,
she
interesting.
had no idea that I knew Eddie. None. And we were talking. I said, she was talking about her husband, Ed, and I went, what's his last name?
All right. Yeah, our Sunday morning group, we really did see a lot of angels come through, didn't we?
Mhm.
Oh, the 14 or 15 years we did that. My. Okay, everybody, that wraps up our reading for tonight. Once again, I want to congratulate you. Like I said, we started in January and this is December. We didn't skip a lot of Thursdays, canceled a couple of them. And then last Thursday was Thanksgiving, but God bless us all. We've read through this and we've talked and we've laughed and cried and we've done a lot of, I'm doing this for the recording to make it look like I'm so, magnanimous. Does that work? No, I didn't think so. Okay. All right. Before we sign off, is there anything, somebody, it's open mic right now. If there's something you want a paragraph you still want to go back over, or anything that any of the lessons this week that might have spurred something?
Yeah, I want to go back to that one I read. It's in the prayer. I am as sure that they will come to me as you are sure of what they are.
Which
I
one?
found it helpful.
It was
found it helpful.
it was in 95.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
I'm as sure that they will come to me as you are sure of what they are. So people are going to be coming to you, and every one of them is sent. I find that to be a reasonable assumption to make. There aren't any accidental meetings or introductions. And it is I'm not saying I'm very good at this, but I'm making the assumption, I'm choosing this attitude that everybody here, including you guys, anybody else I meet, is somebody that was sent. And they either have something to say to me that is helpful to me, or I say something to them that is helpful to them. And I think it's a great way to live my life.
It's a good attitude to have.
I agree.
Great. Absolutely.
Yeah, that lady that called, she kept apologizing. You know, she's bought a book and she just kept apologizing for taking so much time and everything. I said, no, you know what? Everyone that comes across my path, I told her, I really think
I enjoy leaving my husband in a lurch. Don't worry about it. Don't
Oh,
worry about it.
no, everyone that comes, it's just
Yeah.
no accident, you know.
There
and
is no
and
accident.
now we're connected. I just
Yep.
feel like I'm connected
Yep.
for all time, really.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. We get all the Sims hotline here, so everybody gets to call. If they call that 800 number, it gets transferred to this cell phone right here. And Joy's a trooper. She works all day long on the websites and the lessons and the audios, all this stuff. She puts, and then if she's going down a rabbit hole and that phone rings, she has to pick it up and be Reverend Regis Joy. And there's 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes out of her life, but she
Maybe a couple
she leaves
hours.
maybe a couple hours, yeah. And she leaves them all happy and content. And even if it takes a couple hours.
I'm sorry.
No,
It's
you're fine. You're fine.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming tonight. Please be safe. Please be safe. Be safe, be healthy. Love your God because God loves you unconditionally. There's nothing, he's your biggest cheerleader. He is up there rooting you on. He's the one that wants you to run for the touchdown. He's not the one that wants to put a mortal sin on your soul and make you have to pay for it in hell or something like that. That's not the God I believe in, or actually that's not the God that I think exists. It's not a belief. It's just something that I feel that's how God exists, is he loves us all unconditionally. So you can't be sinning and loving us unconditionally. It doesn't work. So it's the wrong direction. So, all right. Anybody, anything? All right. Thank you all. We didn't do last week, Thanksgiving, but we will see you next Thursday.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, adios.
Or when you want to.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Or
Oh,
you can-
Joy wanted me to tell you what the Powerball numbers are.
I don't need them.
You don't need them? Okay. The Powerball numbers are 12, 14, 36,